If you guys want the newest hot accessories, including playmats, deck boxes, dice, and more, make sure you use my affiliate link in the description bar below and go buy from Gym Tech. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club. I literally just got back from the 5K tournament that Big Boy Gaming hosted this past weekend, and your boy managed to get 4th place. I guess I'm just the 4th place king at this point. Got 4th place at Ultimate Time Wizard in Richmond, and now 4th place at Big Boy Gaming. So we do take that. We do take all of these top 4 finishes that we can get. So I'm going to bring you guys the 4th place deck profile from that event. Before we get started, as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really just motivates me to keep going, keep getting better at the game, as well as content creation. You can also check out the entire stream of the Big Boy Gaming 5K over on my channel here. So make sure you also check that out. Also, guys, before we get started, I am still in the process of moving into my new place, so my film setup is not quite the best yet, but just bear with me for the next couple weeks till we get everything all set up. So we're gonna get into the deck profile here. As you notice, we do have the top 8 Edison 5K playmat. It's very nice. The colors are very cool. This was very well done. It's absolutely beautiful. And we also do have this Big Boy Gaming Edison top 8 pin. So I was actually more excited for this than I was the playmat. Like, this thing is awesome. I collect pins and stuff like that, and this thing's definitely going to be a good addition to my collection. So we're going to go over the main deck first. I did change a few things from Ultimate Time Wizard Richmond, but nothing crazy. So starting things off, we do have 2 copies of Archlord Kristya alongside 2 copies of Judgment Dragon. I'm still very happy with the way Kristya is working out at 2. I don't feel like I draw this card when I don't need it as much as I did when I played 3. It feels like 2 is just the perfect number for me. It just continues to prove itself time and time again. I'm a big fan of only playing the 2 copies of Archlord Kristya. Then we have our 2 Honest, who these are actually the new collector's rare Honest. They're kind of like little baby ultimate rares. These look really nice. So 2 Honest, not much of an explanation needed there. 2 Soul of Purity, MVP this weekend. I do keep saying that I feel like I want to go up to playing 3 of this card, and I probably am going to do that going forward. Not many changes I'd really make overall. Then I went down to 1 Shire, which I'll explain later. 1 Arcus, 1 Jane, 1 Lumina, 1 Aaron, 1 Graganith. Excuse me, I am still on the Graganith. This guy continues to overperform almost every time he hits the field, and I'm definitely not going back now. So yeah, this guy, if you watched my match on stream, he actually did pierce over a Spirit Reaper for game, so that was pretty cool. Little showcase of Graganith there. And then we have the one-ofs, the non-engine, which is going to be Card Trooper and Plague Spreader Zombie. These guys, you have to include these. There was actually part of me that thought maybe going into the weekend that I wouldn't play Plague Spreader just because of how popular Value is. I thought a lot more people would be on Crow. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I was just like, every Lightsworn and Kristya Sworn list ever has played this card. There's probably just no reason to really cut it. So I just left it in there, and it was fine. Going into the 3-ofs, we have a lot more 3-ofs this time than I did last time. So we have 3 Raikou. We actually have 3 Lila. We have 3 Herald, and we also have 3 Celestia. I kind of tried to build around the strong points of how the deck performed at Richmond, which was these 2 cards. Having triple Lila to be able to get over things like Royal Oppression and just kind of play the slow game, like summon Lila, hit something, hit a back row, stuff like that. It was really, really good. And I actually cut the 2nd Shire for the 3rd Celestia, because Celestia is just a super monarch. There were so many times at Richmond I thought to myself, like, wow, if I could just draw Celestia, like, I would be in such a good spot. So why not go up to 3 of it? It's still a fairy, and it still can be revived off Glorious Illusion as a beater. So a lot more 3-ofs this time. I definitely have to give a very big shout out to Herald of Orange Light. This card was magnificent the whole weekend. Probably the best Herald has ever been for me. I'm a big fan of Herald of Orange Light. That guy was great. So spells, not a lot to say. Spells, I think, are pretty much the same. Triple Recharge, Double Gold Sark, Heavy, and Charge. Not really a lot to say about these. I'm not really going to waste a lot of time here. Going into traps, 1-ofs, we have Call, Mirror Force. These were fine. Call was good. I think I only got to use Mirror Force 1 time. And every other time it got like heavied or MST'd. And that's just the nature of the beast. So I don't think that makes Mirror Force any better or any worse. And the last, we have 2 Glorious Illusion, 2 copies of Beckoning Light. yet again, not a lot to really say there. Rounds off the 41 card main deck. Yes, it was still 41. I'm going to go over this extra deck very, very quickly. Thought Ruler, Avenging Knight, Stardust Dragon, Black Rose, Catastor, Android, Brio, Goyo, Mistworm, Fortress Dragon, Flameville, Quazus, Armory Arm, Colossal Fighter, Tempest Magician, and Red Dragon Archfiend. I went X2 in Swiss, and oddly enough, I lost to my friend Adam playing Hero Beat because I swapped my Ancient Fairy for this guy. So I actually hate Red Dragon Archfiend. This is my least favorite card in the entire game now. But basically, the situation was we were down to a very simplified game state, used up all of his Sparks and both of his Honest, and I was walling him out with Iron Wall. I attacked, he had Gores, so I went main phase 2, stacked for Plague, and then realized I no longer had Ancient Fairy in my deck, so I had to make Black Rose, and his hand had Miracle Fusion. So had I had Ancient Fairy, I just would have walled up on Ancient Fairy with Iron Wall, and then I could have basically just hung out until I got to Judgment Dragon. So that was very unfortunate. Can definitely say Ancient Fairy is going to go back in the deck. Also, too, guys, there should be an Ancient Sacred Wyvern in here. I still, throughout all of these games I have played with this deck, I have still never summoned that card one time. So I still have not broke down and bought an Ancient Sacred Wyvern. One was loaned to me for Richmond. And yeah, so I don't actually have that card, but you should probably be playing it. I just refuse to pay like $25, $30 for a card that comes up, in my experience, like 1 in every 100 games. So side deck, a little bit different from Richmond. We still have 2 Cyber Dragons. We have 2 Consecrated Light. Only sideboarded 4 monsters. Then we have Mind Control, Book, and Space Typhoon. And these were all very, very good. Mind Control was for stuff like the Mirror. This is also for Value Turbo. You can take their Raikos. You can take their Hamsters. You can use this to move something out of the way. All kinds of stuff. So Mind Control, in theory, was really good. I actually just never drew it, unfortunately. And then Book of Moon, I really like to just sometimes side just generic cards in this deck. And this can be used to get over stuff like an Opposing Kristya, Vanity's Fiend, any kind of Floodgate monsters like Fossil Dyna. And I actually used this in my top 4 match. Or my top 8 match, I'm sorry. In the Kristya Sworn Mirror, I booked my own Raiko, flipped it, and then popped his set Hamster. So that was pretty cool. And then MST as well. Not a lot to say there. Traps, I did side deck 1 Compulse. This was mainly for decks like Vayu, and also you can basically put this in against anything, because sometimes you can just use this, like summon JD, nuke the field, they bottle us, and you just chain Compulse, put it back in your hand. Your opponent feels really silly. But Compulse was fine, and then I still side decked Royal Oppression. Never got to use these over the weekend, but the theory's still there. Double Royal Decree for all the trap matchups. In the last 3 cards, I actually played triple Imperial Iron Wall. I really felt like Vayu was going to be the most represented deck, which it was. And this card is actually so insane. It is literally baby Royal Decree against stuff like Vayu and Hero Beat. Put this in against both of them. It stops their engine, stops Miracle Fusion, stops Vayu. It also stops a lot of other cards that you lose to, like DD Crow, Dimensional Prison, and Bottomless Trap Hole. So this is really just like a little baby Royal Decree when you play against Vayu and Hero Beat. But it was mainly for Vayu, just to kind of bring their engine down. So you kind of want to try to put up something like Stardust Dragon, Imperial Iron Wall, like ASAP, because they have to get to like their heavy, their MST, whatever. And that's if they even leave those cards in their deck. And if they don't, then they're only out as something like Raiko or getting into a level 6 Synchro Brio and bouncing it. So you just try to hold your oranges for that in case that happens. If you've stuck around this long in the video, I'm going to very quickly go over my matchups because I feel like this is when most people start to kind of tap out of the video here. But round 1, I play against Vayu Turbo. I take that 2-0. Round 2, I play against Volcanic Quick Draw. I take that 2-0. Round 3 was my first loss against Blackwing, who was actually the guy that won the whole thing, 0-2. Round 4, I play against Frog Hero. I win that 2-1. Let's see. Frog Hero, that was round... Did I not write my round 4 down? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so round 3 was Blackwing. I lost 0-2. Round 4 was Frog. Frog Hero. I win 2-0 there. Round 5 was another Frog. I win 2-1. Round 6 was against my friend Adam. I lost 1-2, which was because I didn't have freaking Ancient Fairy Dragon. But, you know. And then round 7, which was my match on stream on the bubble, I beat Zombies 2-1 on stream. Then this morning, my first match of top 16, which was against Vayu Turbo. It was Mayberry. I ended up winning that one 2-0. And then my top 8 was the mirror match, Kristya Sworn mirror. I win that 2-1. And then also my top 4 match, I play against the same Blackwing guy yet again, and he gets me 2-0 again. So unfortunately, wasn't the best showing for Kristya Sworn in the Blackwing matchup, but that is a matchup that is just heavily dependent on you just seeing your cards like Solar Recharge and seeing like not seeing Gold Sark going second, and winning the die roll can be important. So I'm just going to keep trying to work on that matchup as much as I can, try to really get that one figured out, and see if I can try to get some games over on Blackwing in the future. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to do a podcast episode all about the BBG 5K very, very soon. My friend Justin actually did judge that event. And closing statements here, I have to give a couple shout outs here. Shout outs to BBG Diego for running the event. He's a very cool, very awesome guy, and he really goes out of his way for the players. Shout out to all the staff. Shout outs to Ryan for streaming the event on my channel. That was really cool. Shout outs to Justin Morgan for being the head judge. Shout outs to Cody Hug for being one of the floor judges. Sorry, guys. And I have to give a shout outs to my team, the Edison Club. There were several of us that made it into top 16. I believe it was myself, it was Blake Bowman, Ty Payne, Michael Gammons, and Chris Lee. We were all in top 16. So Edison Club takeover. That was pretty cool. Have to give a shout out to Fraser Smith over at I Am Nerd for all of his videos that he posts. Definitely have been a major factor in me getting better at the format, getting better at the game entirely. So definitely a big shouts to him. Shouts to a true hero. Kind of the same thing goes for him. Shouts to Times2, who is, we kind of like bounce some ideas back and forth off of one another a lot of the time. And some of those ideas have definitely paid off in my Kristya Sworn journey. Shouts to all my boys back at Easy Gaming and Picante TCG for supporting me and pushing me, because they knew that I could get here if I just kept trying. And shouts to my fiance Becky. She always supports me and loves me and pushes me to do my best. So if there's anyone I forgot about, there's so many of you. I think that's everyone. I'm sorry. But basically, if you're in my life and you've pushed me to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh! And keep going, then this victory goes to you guys. So thank you guys for watching. This is Mike from the Edison Club signing out until the next one.